lot. She said, did you hear anything? And I said, yes. And then we both started crying. That kind of makes me emotional. So she just gave me a hug. She's like, are you still going to do this?
Hey ladies, today we're excited to announce a new special guest to our Fierce Aging series, Karina. Karina is not only a fashion and lifestyle expert, but a woman of incredible resilience, faith, and inspiration. Through her popular blog, Karina Style Diaries, and her deeply personal podcast, Karina Faith Diaries, she shares stories of beauty, faith, and the power of overcoming adversity. This is an episode you don't want to miss. Karina opens up about her journey, celebrating age with wisdom and fierce grace. All right, so take me back to when you started your career as a content creator. Like, what inspired you? What made you want to do this? And what year was it?
So that was 2012. I had a previous blog with my best friend, right off of like fashion school. And then we did something together for about a year. And then we moved to Colorado for my husband's business. And I was like, well, I don't have my best friend with me anymore. So I need to just do something for, me showcasing my outfits, just taking my kids to school or going to work. I worked in a small boutique in town. So I decided on Karina Style Diaries because it was just a way to show my everyday look. Never in a million years I thought that would be my full-time business like it is today.
So when did you go full-time as a content creator?
In 2018 is when I decided to do it. Like I was starting to make a little bit of money. So my husband said, it's never going to be your full-time job if you don't give 100% of yourself. Because I really was spreading myself out too thin. And so that's when I decided to go full-time. A month later, I got my breast cancer diagnosis.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were really, churning out the content in your elements.
Mm-hmm.
And then how did that happen? Did you go to your regular mammogram or did something?
I was in the shower and I felt a lump and I was just like, wow, this is odd. It was kind of like the size of a grape. And so I did my self-exam and I found another one and it was a little harder to kind of uneven edges. And I don't know, I had a feeling of like, I need to get this checked, but I'm trying to brush it off. Oh, it's probably nothing. So I told my husband and he said, you really need to get checked. So I did. And I had already put the notice in the school. I was working as an assistant teacher at the kids' school. And then it was very fast, the process of them doing the exam and doing the biopsy. And then I got the results like 2 days later. And it was breast cancer.
And how old were you?
I was 39.
So now, what did you do with just being diagnosed and then trying to still do your career? I mean, did you take a time off? Did you say, you know what, I just got to keep creating? Like, where were you with your energy level and what kind of treatment did you do?
I was hosting an event with one of my really great friends. She's also a content creator in town. And I got the diagnosis that afternoon. I'm like, I have to do this event. We had just, be inviting people all over town. So I went and I met her in the parking lot. She said, did you hear anything? And I said, yes. And then we both started crying. That kind of makes me emotional. So she just gave me a hug. She's like, are you still going to do this? And I'm like, yes, we have to, that's what we do. And so I went in and I had my little patch, in here and I met everybody and I said, it was a great evening. And then I just went home and cried a little.
All right.
But it's what we have to.
We'll get some tissues out at this time. Trying to keep it together with you. I was like, oh no, don't. No.
Gosh, I forgot about that story, but it's so funny how it's like things come back to mind.
Well, this is a perfect time for our cuddly spritzer. So you don't realize that it's a tears. Spritz a little bit and it'll just make everything nice and wet so it doesn't look like.
Nice.
So you did the Madewell event. You went home. And then how did you proceed with just content creating or did you go through treatment or what was the plan?
I didn't have a plan. I just kind of went with the flow. My faith is really strong. So I knew that there was a plan for that. You know, me walking through this, whether it would be to reach other women, or I didn't know what it was, but I just kept going. And I just also felt like God brought me to this point right now where I'm able to do this as a full time. He's not going to let me down right now. So I just kept going. I remember just keep on working normally until we had the scheduled mastectomy. So July 5th, early morning, 2018, I did my mastectomy. Lasted all day, the surgery. So I just remember waking up. That was like a shocking moment when I saw myself, and my mom saw too. So that was, there's only like a handful of times that I really cried, and that was very shocking to me. But I was recording. I remember it was like stories had just come out, and I was just recording my entire journey. So waking up and doing that, and people really felt not only included in the story, but a lot of women were going through that too. And it's just almost like not trying to normalize it, but it's like, hey, you're still living, it's not the end. That was kind of the message that I wanted to put out there.
So you did the surgery, the mastectomy, and tell me what happened after, like what you go through, where you have milestones of being cancer-free, and then what happened?
So I had mastectomy in July, reconstruction. So you put expanders, you kind of go through all of this process. So my final surgery was in November of 2018, so 6 months after the mastectomy. And then every year, so for a few months, I have to go and check in with the surgeon. They just look at the incision, make sure that everything looks good. I started seeing my functional doctor too at the same time, just to get checked. The cancer that I had was estrogen positive and progesterone too, so highly hormonal. So I had to be doing every 3 months, we would do blood tests just to make sure my levels were okay. And so it was a 5-year limit of being, after like the 3 first appointments, I would see them every year once, just to make sure everything was good. And then we fast forward to 2023. I had my last appointment, 5-year mark. I'm cancer-free. It's all good to go. Don't have to be seeing my doctors anymore. Then a month later, I started feeling this pain on my hip. And I felt like I just bumped somewhere or working out or something. I didn't think much of it. Maybe it's a cyst, or I don't want it to pop inside of me. So when I do a CAT scan at the ER, she came back and she said, "You have cancer in your bones." And I told you last night, I'm like, "What?" I'm like, no. I had cancer and like breast cancer, in 2018, and I'm cancer free now. She's like, "Oh, that's what happened. It metastasized to your bones." And so I didn't know what that meant. So she said, "We're going to do another scan just to see if there's any other spots." So she leaves the room. I pick up the phone instantly. "What is this?" And it was not good. So that was another tear that kind of rolled as they were rolling me back into a different skin. Because I'm just thinking, at that point,
I got it. We're prepared this time. We're prepared.
So at that point, I was just thinking things like, I want to be here for my kids getting married. I want to see that, like, what is going to happen. But then at the same time, there is a sense of like, okay, what if I only do have 5 years? What would I want to do? And it's almost like a life transforming moment too, of like, there's obviously some sadness, but there's another part of it is like, I just want to live my best life. I want to travel the world. I do not want to sweat the small stuff. I do not want to be as busy as I am with little things. And so it just helped me to kind of reevaluate my life at that point. Yeah.
So that was recent, because I was following you when you had said that you did a YouTube video.
Yes.
And then I went to it, and then I was catching up on what was going on and whatever.
Little update.
And then I just saw you, like you said it that one time, and then you just went into like full content creation, beautiful style, like doing all of your things. And then tell us a little about what you did to separate being at home and your content, and what, getting an apartment and and then going on your next kind of adventure when it comes to content.
Yes. We had a couple of years of like challenges in the family too. So my one of my daughters got a teenager. She got involved with drugs. And so we went into a really difficult journey, 2021 and 2022. And then she came back home in 2023. Everything was so happy. And then a few months later, I found out about this cancer, which was actually a great timing, because had we had this news while she was going through all she was going through, it would have been that much more difficult. Really, how tough it is for a mother seeing your child struggling so much. I started to consume a lot of Christian podcasts, and it was, to me, it just gave me so much hope and so much encouragement. And so I thought to myself, how cool would it be if I could have this one day? But I'm not a podcaster. I'm not an interviewer. I'm a fashion,
Right.
stylist. And, kind of watching that evolve and become what it is. Started setting up the studio, but the podcast didn't happen for 6 months
Right.
after I got the studio. We filmed the first season within 2 weeks. Crazy. And it's all dropping now every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Yes.
And how would I find it?
Karina Faith Diaries.
And it's on
It's a
Spotify
different-
or?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, and we are on YouTube as well.
Oh, you're
I
on
have a
YouTube
little,
too.
Yes,
Okay.
little studio.
Under Karina Faith Diaries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So good. Because I've been watching it on stories. I've seen your
Yes.
clips. And then I was like, okay, well, how am I going to find this? So I know you
Mhm.
link it there, but it's
Yes.
always good to kind of know and then save it, because I always listen to it in the car.
And subscribe and all the things.
Yes.
Give us some likes.
Yeah, no, of course. It's so hard building a new category.
And this is another thing. So it makes you feel so insecure, because here I am. I've worked for 10 years on my channel, my main channel. And, it takes so long to build this trust, this loyalty, this community. And then starting another project from zero, it's very intimidating.
What's your main channel?
Karina Style Diaries.
No, but like your main channel, is it Instagram?
It's Instagram,
It's
yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
So that's where most of my followers could be able to follow
Mhm.
you. And I think it's really, really interesting too, because Karina shows a lot of affordable styles. So she is really a great resource for finding those great, you really do high-low though too.
Mhm, I do
It
a lot
just
of high-low.
depends.
Yes.
But you do a lot of affordable, a lot of Amazon,
Mhm.
a lot of Walmart.
I don't do Amazon as much anymore, but I do a lot of Walmart, and I do have like older things that I'm starting to pick up too, like Zara and H&M,
Mhm.
those like fun brands.
Mhm.
But I love myself a designer shoe or designer bag, so I would do
Right. You accessorize with more of the
yes.
high, but your kind of staples are, and they're
Mhm.
so beautifully put together
Yes,
that it's,
thank
it's really nice. It's a really great, I've been following Karina for years, and I've reached out a couple times when you've posted like that life Bible that I wanted to know about.
Yes.
There's been a
That's
couple
such a great
other
one.
things that I reached out to her about,
Mhm.
and I've just really been enjoying it. So it's really nice to see you evolve into a podcast, something different,
Mhm.
but also reaching other women through your story
Yes.
and being able to share your faith and bring people on with different perspectives or different journeys and to
Mhm.
encourage people. So what's the main goal of the podcast?
That's what it is. It's to encourage people. While I was going through something difficult in my life, I found so much encouragement in those types of podcasts that's what I wanted to do for it too. And I like to joke that it's like God gave me my dream, which is to have a platform to showcase my fashion, my beauty, just the fun stuff. And now it's my turn to do something for Him, for His kingdom, which is to spread His word, in the best way that I can. And I love testimonials too. I get so encouraged by people's stories. I love reading memoirs. Like, that's my favorite thing. And so I get really into it when I'm listening to somebody. So it's really you will not find a lot of my story in it, although I am filming my testimony myself.
Mhm.
But it's about people's just walks with life, with God, through life, through challenges, overcoming challenges and difficult situations, and how it's possible. And,
No, and I thought it was such a perfect time to like end our breast cancer awareness month with you, because it's a continuous journey for you now.
Yes.
And you're doing so many amazing things within your platform and keeping busy. And I think that's a really good takeaway for a lot of women that are in your situation, that are either just diagnosed with cancer or battling, or in the journey keeps continuing, but you stay very busy and you stay very occupied, and you don't, allow that to take over. You're still doing what you love, and you're still doing what, like you said, you listen to your body if you have to rest, what have you. But I think that's very encouraging for a lot of people, because you would think, like you had posted that story when you were skiing this past spring, and it said, like, I think you said, living my best life with stage 4 cancer. Or stage 4 cancer.
Yes.
And I was like, she doesn't mention it that much. I didn't know it was stage 4, but look at her. She's skiing. She's doing her thing. I'm like trying to keep up. I'm like, wow, because it wasn't what I would expect to see. And I think that's just a really great takeaway for women that might be feeling discouraged or not really understanding, where am I supposed to go with this now? Or what am I supposed to do? Like give up or just stop?
It's hard. And a lot of women reach out and say, how do you find yourself? And I feel like the joy that I have, it's given. It's God-given. So it's trying to find joy in everything. We're still here. We're still living, So just to be thinking about the future, I might not be here. It's not going to make, it's not going to bring joy. Nobody knows what the future holds. So why go there?
Right.
It's like, just try to live the best that you can with what you have right now. To me, it's the most important thing.
All right, ladies, we're doing a really beautiful, fresh look for Karina. Now, Karina is one of my youngest guests, actually. And I think this is really interesting because I have all of these women that are on the Fierce Aging channel, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We had Henrietta at 101, and we can learn so much from women that are older and wisdom. But I also think that all of my ladies that are in my audience and have been on my channel that are older can learn from Karina at 45. And I think that's really such a nice give and take, right? We can learn from our older generation, and then we can have a fresh perspective, like on your life journey. And, being 45 doesn't mean that, oh, well, you're not old enough to be able to share anything or offer anything. And so my channel is about 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so now I have someone younger than me on the channel, which is like so exciting. And I'm going to be showcasing my Burt's Bee. I've showed it to you in one of my videos recently that I picked out just really affordable at the drugstore skincare. I'm going to be using 3 products on Karina's skin. I'm going to start with the eye cream. We just launched a really fun cooling eye roller. So this will be a nice, especially after our little, emotional session, that we'll have some. I'm just going to put a little on the tip of the cooling eye roller, and it'll feel really nice. So, and it's like large, so it covers the big area. And then you could put on these bags or designer. It's your silicone eye patches here if you wanted to. After I didn't put them on this morning for her, I really wanted to kind of get the conversation going and not have any distractions with the iPads. But this is just really nice. You just work it in and you roll it down. So in the morning, it's going to feel really nice and cool. And then you can like work this in a little bit more if you need to. I'm going to be using the SPF 30 Firming Day Lotion on Karina's skin. This will be my last step for her. All right, so I'm going to start off first with our little fresh makeup tutorial with our eye primer. All of the products will be listed below. I'm using our Essential Makeup Brush Kit, 100% vegan. These are ultra soft brushes, and I'm going to prime Karina's eye first because this is going to make the eyeshadow stay as long as possible, look great throughout the day, especially since you have a really long day. It'll be a great test for you to see. And are you using an eye primer now?
Nope.
You don't ever use an eye primer?
No.
Oh, this will be interesting. So this will be a game changer for you. If anything, you'll enjoy doing this with any of your eyeshadows because it's going to have them really grip onto your eye and it'll stay long. So when you're shooting and you're doing all your content and whatever, you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, like by 5 or 6 o'clock, I don't look like I have the same makeup on, right? So I just tap in with our angled concealer brush. and I go from the base of the lash all the way up to the brow bone. So basically you can see we all have like pigmentation or blues, grays on the lid as we age, and this just neutralizes everything out. So you get a really nice fresh eye. And then when you put your eyeshadow on, it looks true. It looks like the actual colors in your compact. It's actually really interesting because Karina worked at Sephora for a bit, then worked for Chanel. We were talking how we worked for the same kind of companies like Laura Mercier. And so doing makeup on Karina, I know is going to be kind of fun for her because I don't think we were talking about it last night. Like you don't have anyone really do your makeup, right?
No, I'm super picky.
Yeah. So same thing with me. And it's fun when you work on another artist and or content creator because we're so used to doing everything ourselves and we know exactly how we want it. This is a kind of like a little bit of a different kind of tutorial for you ladies. So we're going to go into, Karina likes matte shadows, but I'm going to do something fun for her today. We're going to be using Strong Brew, which is an all matte palette. It's nice and creamy, talc free. And then I'm always wearing my Lay Bottled Blonde. So this is an all sheen palette. And we're going to just take the middle color and we're going to just pop just a little bit, the lid, just a little bit, because it'll be something different that she doesn't normally do. So we're going to start off with Strong Brew. I'm going to take our flat eyeshadow brush and we're going to take the middle color and we're going to just put that on the whole lid. I'm going to just take the lightest color, it's like a bone color in the palette. I'm going to turn the brush around so it's on the clean side, and I'm going to just do a little brow highlight. I'm taking my short smudge brush. It's like a little eraser brush. Anytime you make a mistake, you just take this brush and you just buff it out and you're fine.
Oh.
You don't have to like, oh no, or my eyeliner's all over the place. Just sweep it across and you're good. So I like to call it my eraser brush.
Okay.
It's like the short smudgy brush that does wonders. I'm going to go into the darkest color here and we're going to, now Karina likes to do a little wing. You use liquid eyeliner, right?
I use a nice shadow that I buff and then I finish with the liquid eyeliner. Yes,
And
it's a guide.
Yes, I've seen it before on your stories. I always am looking at her makeup when she's doing it. So we're going to do something similar to her, but more my style. We'll do a little wing, but we're going to do that with the short smudge brush, tapping it into the product. And then we're going to just, I like giving it like a little bit on like 3/4. So I'll start really close to the lash line and I just kind of bring it up a little bit. So you ladies have been following me for a while, know that I like to lift the eye at the end. I'm always like lifting it up there. And it doesn't matter, even if you have a little hooding on your eye, you can still bring it up. So, and also with your mascara, you can bring up that last lash. So that's what I always really concentrate on because I want to give that illusion that, you know, we're really lifting the eye. And so you can give that guide with your shadow first, just doing it like an eyeliner, like I am here, tapering it down, kind of like to the middle and then just in that inner corner. I don't really like going too far. And it'll be lighter and then we'll go over with our dark chocolate eyeliner. So I'm going to do the other eye. I'm going to take my dark chocolate waterproof eyeliner. Now these are very soft, so you have to be careful. You don't want to go on your eye line like I was telling you before. Like if you're used to hard pencils, it's going to be a lot for you. So you just want to do it like soft first because a little bit goes a long way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the same line that I just created with the shadow, but we're going to intensify it a little bit. And then we might blend it depending on, we don't have a lot of fallout though, which is great. So you're not having to do a lot of cleanup, but I will do just a little bit just in case we feel like I want to crisp up the end. So you can see I'm just going to the base where her lashes are, following the line, bringing it up a little bit, and you're going to get more of an intense lash line by doing this. And it's going to last all day. So I'm literally going right to her lashes. So when you know you're doing it right is when you feel your lashes moving and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to like my waterline. That's fine. You're not on it. You're just getting it really close. So you're really working up that defined line. All right, so ladies, I always tell you this, if you feel like they're not even or they're just all over the place, or you're like, oh, I gotta start over, this doesn't look good, don't worry. I'm gonna just go back with my short smudge brush, and we're going to fix anything that we don't think. So right here, I kind of feel like it could be a little smoother. So I'm just going to take it just like this, smooth it out. And it's a really light dusting on the eye. You're not going to go too much. And I'm going to pull this up when I use my eye makeup remover. So basically, I'm just taking this out. And if it's too far out, that's not a problem. We can always take that back. But what I think is really important is that you experiment and you can say, oh my gosh, this is not, I don't like this look. Or, you know what, let me just shorten it a little bit or smudge it up a little bit. That's what's really interesting, because if you don't try and you don't push yourself to see that you either love it or you don't, that's when we actually make signature looks. When we do something where we're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, wow, this really worked for me. Or, you know, so it's about experimenting with your makeup. There is no right or wrong. There's no mistakes. We can always clean things up. We can always take things down, but why not go for it and see what it looks like and then make the decision, right? So I'm gonna just take a little bit of the shadow on this short smudge brush, and I'm going to go underneath her eyes just a little bit to balance it out. Now, don't panic because it looks like the shadow's all over the place. I'm gonna take my Almay pads. These are super easy. These are not the waterproof ones. These are just easy makeup remover pads. They're not overly saturated, so you don't feel like they have anything streaming down the face. I wrap it around my finger, and then I just lift up, and I can shorten this a little bit, and especially like under the eye, I think it came down a little bit lower than I wanted it to. So you just go underneath, sweep it over. You're still gonna have that shadow, but you're going to be able to control what you've just done. So I think that we'd take this down a little bit. It'll keep a little bit there for us of that shadowing, but not too much, just enough. And then I'll lift this at the end. So we're just gonna come up. I'm taking my Volume Up mascara. Karina told me that she really feels like she doesn't have that many lashes, so this is the perfect wand to really grip those lashes. I made this silicone wand really tight with those teeth, so it's gonna grab, almost be like a comb. Like when you're combing your hair or you're doing the styler, it's doing the same thing with your lashes. So we're gonna pull all those lashes up. So now I'm gonna just take from Bottle Blonde, the middle color. I'm going to just pop just with a little, just using the same brush, the flat shadow brush. I want to give a little bit of sheen, because I know Karina likes to do just matte, but just right here, this is what we're doing. We're just giving some light to that center. So you can see it just popping up. It looks so beautiful. You can also take it if you want to and go right into that center and get a little light right there in that tear duct area, but it's so pretty. It just gives that little bit of sheen that I love. I'm very much into just a little pop of sheen on the eyes, no matter what age. I'm going to be using our Naked Lashes from Ardell. Have you used these before?
I think I have, but yeah, it's been a while.
There's a bunch of different numbers, like styles for the Naked Lashes. I usually use 420s. That's really the one I always gravitate towards, but these are 424, so just a little bit more fringe, and I'm gonna cut them down, so maybe we'll just do like the third. We're not gonna do a full set. We'll just kind of place them so that it gives it more of that winged out cat eye. So you can see that I created a really nice fringe on this outside. It just enhances her lashes just a little bit. This could be worn for day. This is evening. It's a really fun look, but you're not doing a whole full strip lash. So we have beautiful lashes on. They're a little bit different than what I normally do, but I thought, why not? Let's just have fun. Cut them all apart, then put them all back on. It's just fun doing makeup like that. You think it's going to be one way, and then you end up doing something else, and you just go with it. So I'm going to be using a rose lip balm because I'm going to start on the complexion, so her lips will be nice and hydrated by the time we get to her complexion, her BB cream, and all the other wonderful, beautiful products that are going to just give her skin some life. I'm going to be using my Just Peachy color corrector. This is going to take out any of those grays, blues underneath the eyes. And when it comes to melasma or the pigmentation, we can kind of just swipe over that to give our BB cream not such a hard time to cover everything, and you can use less makeup. So if you use a color corrector on the dark spots and it's going to lift them so they're not going to be as hard to cover, or they won't show through your concealer or your BB cream or whatever foundation you decided to use. So I'm going to just take this and go right underneath the eyes. So I go up into this corner, I come down, and I like to just spread the product depending on what we're trying to cover. I'm taking my angled concealer brush and I'm going to just follow where I put the Just Peachy. So I'm doing light strokes. I don't want to drag the product on the skin. I'm going to be using our Creamy Concealer in Light, and I'm going to just go over the BB cream. I'm going to just take it down. If I need more, I'll come back, but I don't want to over apply the concealer to the skin. So again, I'm going to come down and then I'm going to work it back up. Still taking my concealer angled brush, I'm going to just nicely kind of airbrush in the concealer onto her skin. We're going into complexion now. I've chosen the BB cream. We could do the serum foundation, look beautiful, but I want to do the BB cream for you today with the light medium and just a drop of tan. So that's going to be beautiful. Again, this is very lightweight. It is buildable, but this is going to be fragrance-free. It's a really nice way to tone the skin, but not be wearing a lot of foundation. So you're not covering your skin. I'm taking my foundation buffing brush and I'm going to just tap into, I like to season the brush because it's brand new. So I like to get the product into the brush so it's even on the whole head. And then what I'll do is just start working and buffing this into the skin. So it's almost like this beautiful, just airbrushed. I meet where I did the concealer and then I come back out and I'll go down on the neck. So everything's really nice and even. So the BB cream's on. I'm going to do a little Nikita Banana just to set the BB cream and the concealer. We are under hot light, so you might see that extra illuminating glow, but when you're out, it looks so beautiful. But in studio, sometimes it's going to look really like very luminescent. But when we just take the Nikita Banana and just press down, and this is talc-free, it's a brightening powder, so it's going to set your concealer, your BB cream, just really lightweight. You can also take your eyeshadow blending brush and just roll it in. This is a clean brush. Just roll it into your Nikita Banana so you don't pick up that much product, and then you're going to go right underneath your eyes. So this is a little area that it's easier to take a nice wispy eyeshadow brush, get right up in there underneath the eye so you can set that concealer. So again, doesn't matter the age. So Karina's 45. I'm not here to cover all of her skin and take out every single different pigmentation. I think that's beautiful when you see the skin through and you can really appreciate the skin. We're always all working on our skin and trying to get it as smooth and as pigment free. But again, it does really look unnatural when you try to cover everything up and have this like flat tone to the skin. So I do like that you can see the skin through and it looks like real living tissue and it doesn't look like we just masked the whole thing. So that's why I really love the BB cream. So now I'm gonna go in with our Classic Beach Glow. And so this will be new for you, though you said that downstairs you liked how I have Let's Get This Beauty Started. So I put it in the mirror for you. So when you wake up and you're not feeling so fabulous, you're like, you know what? Let's get this beauty started.
I love it.
So you'll give yourself a little positive mantra in the morning with the cosmetics. And I'm going to use my flat foundation brush. These is such a beautiful palette. This is a highlighter, a blush, and a bronzer. So you have one compact that you can throw, especially when you're traveling and everything. You don't have to look and dig for everything. So you can use it with your fingers if you want to. But I like to, with my guests, I like to put it on the flat foundation brush. And then I just work it in to the brush and then smile. Just going to put right here on the cheek. And it almost like sinks into the skin and just looks like we put it under the BB cream and it comes through. It's just so pretty and just really gives you that radiance. I can just flip the brush over and take a little bit of the highlighter. This highlighter is going to give you that very, not that glittery, like sparkly look. It's more of like that glossy look. And of course, we can do a little bronzer with the tip. This is like, I use every single part of the brush. Just go into the tip with the bronzer, and then we can just put a little bronzer right underneath. You're going to just go right below that cheekbone here, not too low, not too right where the jawline is. You just want to go right to the base of that cheekbone. So you're really giving a nice definition. It's very, very subtle. You can keep building it up if you want to. You can also put this on top of the forehead or maybe down here on the jawline if you want to. It just really depends on how you want to bronze up the skin. We don't want to miss out on the brows. Now, Karina does have permanent makeup on her brows. They faded a little bit as they normally do. Again, it is all about pigment holding into the tissue. And as the time goes on, you just need to touch up a little bit. But the best part is you have that skeleton of the brow. So you can just fill in, you know exactly where to fill in. So I'm using Brownie. This is our skinny brow pencil. I'm going to just give a little bit more definition to her brows. They look beautiful now, but just a little bit more shape. I'm going to just do a little bit of sculpting with our milk chocolate. This is our brow mascara. That's going to just give a little bit more texture, a little bit more thickness to Karina's brows. We are on the last steps of bringing this beautiful look together. We're using Cameo. It's a waterproof lip liner. It's my favorite. You know, I wear this every single day. And then I wanted to do 1975. Karina thought I said 1979. I said, no, my birth year, not yours. And this is really beautiful. That's going to just be a great fall color, a great everyday color. And then, of course, we'll pop it off with a little lip gloss. So let's line the lips first. I'm going to take the other side of my dual concealer lip brush. This retracts out, and then you have a little lip brush here. And then I'm going to just take the 1975 and put this beautiful color on Karina's lips. So what you can do too, after you apply your lipstick, if you feel like it's not crisp enough, you can go back with your lip liner and just redefine the lips. So if there's a little bit of areas like the bottom here, I want to just kind of sharpen up a little bit. That's something that's a little trick that you can do afterwards and really define the lip and make sure that you are getting the shape that you really want. And I'm going to finish it off with Cocoa 13. This is, you could use Manifest and Glow, which would be a choice, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. 1975 with Cocoa 13 over. It's just a really beautiful combination. It's going to give you that high gloss. It's going to give you a little bit of flex. It's very pretty. Now, we always end with the Rose Face Mist. It just gives a little hydration. It's not setting your makeup per se, but I think that it's just such a great way to kind of feel refreshed and just beautiful. So we're going to do the Rose Little Mist. Close your eyes. So I think that we're ready for the reveal.
Okay. I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
Wow. Wow, that's different.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, it's different in a good way. I mean, the lashes are very like, ooh.
Aren't they?
Mm-hmm. It's a lot less bronze than I usually bronze myself up a lot, and this is like very like my skin color.
But so it's so different how people do and interpret. You know what I mean? How you do it. Easily can bronze up the skin a little bit more, but I would always err to be lighter than darker.
100%.
Right? And then we can just bronze over, like warm it all up.
I love the blush. Love the lip color too. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really pretty for you.
And I can't believe that even the BB cream, it just looks, I mean, it did a good job.
I didn't go crazy like on this area because I was like, I don't want to mask it all. I don't want to like eradicate the whole thing where it looks really unnatural.
Yeah.
I'm very, very honored that Karina, you know, she She actually said yes to come in, but didn't know what she was. She's like, I said yes, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I binge watched your videos. And I was like, well, I'm so happy you went on the adventure. You didn't really know what to expect coming on. And you were able to share your beauty and your story and everything that's so important for women going through so many difficult times. And sharing your faith and starting this podcast to help other women. And I'm really excited that you came in and you really, shared everything and we're open to it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was such a great opportunity too. And I'm like, I told you last night, I'm here to serve your community the best I can. And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes. So ladies, until our next video, we'll see you later.
Thanks for watching another exciting episode of Fierce Aging series, where we celebrate age and women around the world inspire. Visit us at NikolBeauty.com, and don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. And we'd love to read your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more empowering content.